Elegbete TV radio. We dare to lead. This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV radio, the pathfinder for radio.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Daffy Martin. 7 you love to come in the Elegbete One of Sports. How are you doing? What's going on in your neck of the wood? What's happening? How was your night? And that's a day because it depends on the part of the world you're watching up from. But some people are already sleeping anyway, and some people are in the night, some people are in the day, some people are in the afternoon, evening. It's midnight every 3 hours somewhere in the world. That's what I was told. Yeah, so today, how did you see the AC or the Milan Inter game? This is we should call it like that. I don't know. It's AC Milan Inter, right? AC Milan Inter Milan. Okay. The Milan Inter game, how did it go at your end? Did it live up to expectation? Were you surprised? For me, I wasn't surprised because once I knew that Rafael was not going to play, I was pretty much a little bit sure that the results were going to either go more in the side of Inter Milan rather than AC Milan because Inter Milan had a full squad and just the same thing that happened to Napoli. Remember when Napoli uh, played AC Milan without Victor Osimhen and had issues with suspension in the second leg to Zobanguisa and the rest of them. You could tell that the core of the team is out, and that could just end up affecting the team, and that's exactly what happened. So you look at the situation with AC to yourself. Yeah, it's easy for people to say, "Oh, are they a one-man team?" When they're supposed to. No, they're not a one-man team, but there are single players that get knocked out of your team that really take the life out of you, and I think that's the situation with AC Milan when a player like Rafael because he's the runner. It's like when you have a flying wingback in the NFL or a wide receiver, and that your best wide receiver is injured. No matter how good your quarterback is, you're almost certain that if you don't have, Odell Beckham Jr. running wide, even though the quarterback are always the one, Vince Mahon, Tom Brady are the ones that people talk about, but you need a wide receiver to receive those long throws, those balls, to be able to run into the channel and get you touchdown. And that's exactly what Rafael is to AC Milan. He's the guy who starts the counter, the sack to, counter the opposition. And when, like, the two goals Inter Milan scored was as a result of high pressing pretty early on and mistakes that came on and all that. But then if you have a Rafael, for instance, you have an athlete that takes the ball, when you're under pressure, you get the ball, they're pressing you, there's someone who you take the ball to and he will both himself all the way to the channel and then eventually find a pass to Olivier Giroud or someone else to put the ball into the net. But unfortunately, like I said yesterday morning, that didn't happen. Well, so many to talk about. There's still, some kind of a conversation around Lionel Messi. I hate it when Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo are still making headlines. And I've got nothing against them, but I just hate it. But the major gossip or the major talk is the fact that West Ham, it's funny, West Ham are having this condition to say they will not sell Declan Rice unless it's a Champions League club. That's one. So they've kept it in an exclusive place. Two, it has to be 100 million to 120 million. So I'm asking the question this morning, do you think that Declan Rice is worth 120 million or even 100 million? I mean, he's got 2 years remaining on his contract. I understand that. But for that 2 years, is it worth that amount of money? Is it something that Arsenal should? If Arsenal doesn't sign Declan Rice, will the world come to an end? Remember, Arsenal was ready to put in everything to get Mikhailo Modric. They eventually lost him to Chelsea, the hijacker, right? But when you look at the player they got, Leandro Trossard, and between January and now, the performance of Leandro Trossard compared to the performance of Mikhailo Modric in Chelsea, you would say that Arsenal just did not dodge a bomb. They dodged the nuclear weapon. They dodged an atomic bomb. They dodged everything that is dangerous and bad about signing the player for a very high price and the player not living up to expectation. But, some other people will say he would have done well if he had gone to Arsenal. Yeah, there are people who have that belief. I do not have that belief anyway. It was good on social media. It was fantastic flirting with Arteta, flirting with Arsenal. But once the deal was not going to happen, it felt like, okay, Arsenal escaped danger, because those are the kind of signings that make every good plan you are doing, everything you're doing. Like currently, if Arsenal doesn't win the league title, nobody's going to say, oh, Arsenal wasted money on players and didn't get a result. To be okay, this is where they're supposed to be on, because you lose the title to who? Man City, who are most likely or looking like they would win the treble. That if they win it, you now look at Arsenal and say, well, not really a bad one if Man City could, wash past all these things that they're passing through, but there's still the little matter of the greatest team in the Champions League, Real Madrid, coming up next week, Wednesday. So it's not over yet, and all of that. So you look at that and you say to yourself, well, that's it. Well, we're not talking the Champions League now. We're not talking treble. We're talking about Declan Rice. As an Arsenal fan, would you be angry if Arsenal doesn't sign Declan Rice? Is Declan Rice in need, like the player that, if we sign this one, okay, we've gotten a drive shaft in the car that we're building? Or you could say, you know what, if we don't get him, it's another Rafinha, it's another Mikhailo Modric, they can go, and then you go and, fish for some player somewhere that will come out to become good success. Remember, Ben White was a player that nobody wanted, but for 50 million, see what it's turned out to be. The goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsey, was a player that nobody liked as well. Look at what it's turned out to be, and a few other players like that. I'm just thinking, would it be a mistake if Arsenal doesn't sign him? And if Arsenal wants to sign him, it's a good deal for 120 million. Harry Kane is another one that everybody's talking about. Yesterday, Harry Kane came out to say that he's not looking at leaving at the end of the season, which is strange anyway. The talk that Bayern Munich are looking for him now. We've also had that Bayern did everything within their financial limit to sign Haaland before he went to Man City last summer. So it also means that they are looking for replacement for what's his name now? They're looking for replacement for Lewandowski, and the fact that Mola might also be going out of play. Though the question I'm asking today is, Harry Kane is saying he wants to stay loyal to the club. He believes that the club can rebuild. How many rebuild at Spurs done? They rebuild with Pochettino, fired him. They decided to do another rebuild with Jose Mourinho, fired him, and then they did a rebuild with Antonio Conte. He's gone now. How many rebuild makes a rebuild? When we're younger, there's this thing called when we play monkey post or German post, as we used to call it. 3 corner make 1 goal, right? So if the defense is so solid, you start looking for corner. You look for 1 corner, 2nd corner, 3rd corner. It's a goal. You set this up. So my question is, excuse me, guys. My question is, man, this place is cold. My question is, Harry Kane, would he regret not moving out of sports if he decides to extend? He's got 2 years left on his contract, but if he decides to extend and say, okay, because they will build me a statue. I think that, good or bad, he already deserved the statue. But now they think, okay, they build him a statue. If they build him, if that's the thing that is causing him to stay loyal to this club, will he regret it at the end of his career? Will his children look at him and say, Dad, but look at this person, look at that person, look at what they achieved playing football, and look at what you achieved playing football. They don't measure up. Okay, that's another conversation that I need you guys to look into. And the Super Six is coming to Lagos. The circus, the Nigerian football circus, the Super Six is coming to Lagos. For those of you in Lagos, what team would you most likely want to see? In Lagos, what team would you most likely want to see? There is Bendel Insurance, I think it's confirmed already. Rivers United most likely will be here. The way they are with their standing game, they're still in 2nd. Enyimba can get a draw against 3SC in Ibadan this weekend. That's almost likely a done deal. And a host of others that are out there. Where is your smart money on? What's going to happen? Where you put your He's going on with me. Okay, this is cold, and I'm feeling cold and cold and cold. I need the jacket. Right, what's the smart money on? But let's look at the transfer gist, the transfer rumors first, and then I'll come back to you on that one. What you think? What would most likely happen with the transfer window? Let's jump in on the rumors that we've seen, what people are saying, what the papers are saying about who's going where, what is going where. Tottenham and France goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, 36, has an offer to play in Saudi Arabia next season and triple his current salary at Spurs. Okay, I think he should take it. He's won the World Cup. He's gone to silver medal. And yesterday I heard something that was strange. AC Milan players did not take their silver medal from the 2005 UEFA Champions League. That was strange for me. Like I was thinking about it. Okay, really? They did that? They didn't take their medals. They just left it in the dressing room. Even their jerseys, they just left it there. And the winning team, Liverpool team, players went in there to pick jerseys and pick the medals. So some Liverpool players have gold and silver. Silver medal that they didn't win, they go to they have it. People like Jimmy Carragher, okay, one Champions League title and the others, as you know. Arsenal has set to announce an extension to 21-year-old England forward Bukayo Saka's contract, which will run until 2028. That's an additional 5 years. Newcastle have revived their interest in Leicester City's 26-year-old England midfielder James Maddison. Like if England, and that's another side of the conversation that I was going to bring up. If Leicester gets relegated, I think that Arsenal and a few other clubs should go and feast on their players. James Maddison is a good one if you ask me, but I think if Arsenal sign a Maddison, for instance, it means that the player like Emile Smith will need to be sold because there'll be no way for him, and even Fabio Vieira might need to be sold. And I know how coaches think. Coaches always want to stay loyal, but I mean, if Arsenal doesn't get to win anything, they will still be. Ateta will still be loyal to this player because he brings them back to the Champions League and be like, okay, these are the players that helped me to achieve this. I want to stay loyal to them. But in my head, I'm thinking that Arsenal should let a player like Fabio Vieira go on a season-long loan like they did with William Saliba. Probably it will come at good at the end of the day. I don't think we should sell him, but he should go on loan and then come back later. So if you have an opportunity to sign Maddison, they should join that fight with Newcastle and be able to try and get him instead of trying to kill themselves for Declan Rice. And then they should also try and get Yuri Tillemans for free. That's a very good opportunity. I don't know why nobody is thinking about it that way. Well, Tottenham Hotspur wants to secure a replacement for former managing director Fabio Paratici before finalizing plans to bring in a new manager. All right, Manchester City have turned their attention to Chelsea 29-year-old Croatian midfielder Mateo Kovacic as an alternative to England midfielder Jude Bellingham, 19, who is set to join Real Madrid from Borussia Dortmund in the summer. Liverpool are poised to sign another 34-year-old former German international Robert Zieler as a backup goalkeeper. Damn. These days, the older players are beginning to look like they are the ones that are most informed. The Olivier Giroud of this world, the Luka Modric of this world. These guys are just playing like, they are not aging anymore. What's happening? What are they drinking? What are they giving footballers? It's beginning to look like there is a particular kind of drugs that sportsmen are using these days. Wolves are interested in signing Coventry City and Sweden striker Victor Gyökeres, who is 24 years of age. Wolves know how to sign some very, very funny players with funny names. Paris Saint-Germain are set to lose France forward Kylian Mbappe with Real Madrid pursuit of the 24-year-old back on track. I told you guys that that's going to be where they're facing. So all those people saying Victor Osimhen should do this, Victor Osimhen should do that, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, talking about Victor Osimhen, let's bring up some news about him and his transfer. Napoli have increased their asking price for Victor Osimhen to 160 million euros, which is 139 million pounds, in anticipation of a bidding war for the 24-year-old Nigerian striker. That's according to Il Martino in Italy. Now, this is interesting, and a lot of people will be asking, do you think that Victor Osimhen is worth that amount of money? I remember when I said 150 million sometime ago, 150 million euro. People say, who tell you that Victor Osimhen is worth that? But let's break it down. If Declan Rice is worth 120 million pounds, Declan Rice is worth 120 million pounds. Victor Osimhen is 24 years of age. And if Jude Bellingham is what Madrid are willing to pay for him, and a few other players like that, why do you think a player that won the title, its performance won Napoli the title. It's going to be the top goal scorer of the league. Why do you think it's not worth that amount of money? That's what you should answer. Though, for those of you who are asking me if you want that amount of money. AC Milan's 23-year-old Portugal forward Rafael Leao, who has been linked with Liverpool and Chelsea, has signed a new 5-year contract with the Italian club. So it doesn't mean he cannot move. What it means now is AC Milan will now have the power to negotiate what they want on the stronger side. Okay, it's very, very important. Yes, someone is telling me 69 Logistics says Super Six, the teams that he wants to see: Benel Insurance, Remo Stars, and Rivers United. You're not interested in Aimba. And talking about players aging. Okay, so back in the day, Nigerian players, when they get to 29, 30, we start calling them tired leg. The club career begin to go out. They begin to get injured. They're not playing regularly. They are more on the bench, waiting for their contract to run out, and then probably, they just retire, right? Jude Bellingham is in his mid-30s. And the reason why I'm saying this is, when we see other players from South America, from Europe, in that age, and they're still bang on spot on playing regularly, we kind of like idolize it. I'm kind of like, what is he eating? I think the next time Ojo is in town, I'm going to do a deep dive on his food, on his routine, because it's worth talking about, because the way he stayed fit, and I say he played in Saudi Arabia. One of the things that people don't understand in football is league like Saudi Arabia is a lot more difficult than people think, right? The reason being that you're not playing with same level of players, quality on your level. So you have to make extra effort. You have to think more. You have to do a lot of mental working more, because you're trying to understand these semi-average players, or maybe a little bit above average players that you're playing with. And they don't think the way you think sometimes. They're not on the same page. They're not coming from where you're coming from. They don't have the kind of coaching that you've had all through your life. But then to be able to fit in and stay consistent, I mean, it's not like it's a one-season wonder. It's been consistent with the goals for Al Hilal, even the club he played for before he went to Al Hilal. All of these things are some things that we need to look at. Like, okay, what is that thing that Ojo Igalo have done to his body to stay in shape? What does he drink? What does he eat? How does he sleep? Is he sleeping? Is he drinking vampire blood? Does he stay inside a cryo machine like Michael Jackson back in the day? What does he really do? I think it's something. It's worth doing a deep dive on. I don't know. I would. Oz is even here. Oz, how you doing? I think we need to talk about this one. 69 Logistics says Enyimba is suffering financially. I agree with you. The club isn't designed to excel, living on past glory, but they are trying without the financial crisis that they've had in the last 2 seasons. I think that Enyimba are trying. People should cut them some slack. Like, say that, okay, even in the face of all the financial crisis, they're still doing well. Inter Milan is in the final already, and for Manchester City versus Madrid, I think Pep should start Julian Alvarez instead of Haaland. Is it possible to put Haaland on the bench? Pep Guardiola puts Haaland on the bench and they lose. People will say he overthink, and you will join them. So let him start the people he's been starting. I think what he should do, I don't know. I'm not going to tell Pep Guardiola who the hell am I to tell Pep Guardiola what to do. But I think I love what Pep does with his team. It's not easy to go to Madrid. People think that Madrid is an easy side. No, it's not easy to go to Madrid, especially in the Champions League, to even get a draw in the first place. But the thing about Madrid is that Madrid can stick up to your ground and get a result. So Pep Guardiola got better be ready to do the job properly. I like the fact that Kyle Walker was put on Vinicius Jr. Yes, he scored that goal, but I mean, Kyle Walker made sure, he wasn't walking, he was running. He was Carona on the day because he was matching in speed for speed, tackle for tackle, and some of the tackles were brilliant and intelligent ones. I just hope that City can get to the finals and face whoever they want to face. The thing about this Inter Milan is they are not annoying. They are like the Jose Mourinho Inter Milan of 2010. You see, everything seems to look good, but somehow, a team that has lost 10 games domestically are still in. They have 1 foot in the finals already in the Champions League, which is very, very strange. But hey, it is football. This things happen. I say Haaland is not a modern day striker. All of a sudden, he cannot play from the build-up and assist. Okay, assist his teammate. All he does is sit up front and wait for the ball. He can win Madrid with Haaland. He can't win Madrid with Haaland up front. Okay, you say so. Alan Gouvers now goes score trick for the return leg. Akbas Baba 82 says Declan Rice is overhyped. It is not worth that much. Now, another thing about Declan Rice that I saw a write-up and they said, David Moyes actually said that Declan Rice is the best English midfielder currently. And then I sat back to think, I was like, okay, if Declan Rice is the best English midfielder currently, it then means that English football is not producing good talent or good footballers. Because how does Declan Rice become the best midfielder currently? I mean, I don't get it. That is, I'm not saying he's an average player, but it's not bang on, top of the mill kind of player that you will sit and say, oh, Declan Rice is the savior, is a guy who plays. No, I don't think it's that kind of player. So but the English people, like I said yesterday, they are doing a good job in hyping their players. Liverpool are ready to meet the 60 million euros, which is 52 million pounds, release clause of Sporting Lisbon's 22-year-old Uruguayan midfielder Manuel Ugarte, according to record in Portuguese. Manchester United are monitoring Inter Milan's 25-year-old Argentine striker Lautaro Martinez. Please don't go to Man United. Your career will be over. Manchester United is a career killer right now. England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, 24, is close to agreeing a new long-term contract at Arsenal. That's a good one. But I think that Aaron Ramsdale needs a backup that will challenge him, not the one that we all know cannot play unless Aaron Ramsdale is injured. Because next season is not going to be the Europa where it doesn't matter. I'm not saying Arsenal is going to go win the Champions League. Come on, that's asking for too much. But they should be competing. And with Aaron Ramsdale, you can't juggle in between the league, the Champions League, and then there's the FA Cup. Carabao Cup is for Matona and the young boys. The FA Cup, I think Arsenal should also compete for it next season. Arsenal should compete for the Champions League to the point of getting to the quarterfinals at least. They're miraculously get the luck of the draws and get to the semifinals. Hooray! That will be over the top. But I think that this squad, whatever reinforcement that they will have, the highest they will get to is round of 16, but they should aim for the quarterfinals. Yeah, Sunderland are planning to offer Jack Clark a new contract to fend off interest from Crystal Palace and Brentford in the 22-year-old England forward. Finally, Barcelona 25-year-old Brazilian forward Rafinha, who has been linked with Newcastle, as rubbish claims he is open to a move away from the Nou Camp this summer, according to the Chronicle Live. So there is no such thing. If you heard it, it's a lie. But then again, it could be true because players, they will say one thing and do another thing. Manchester United seems not interested in going the Arab way. Okay, so they are not doing Arab Moy this time. They are not selling to the Arab according to the stories coming out from England. The Glazers are not 100%. And I said it here some weeks ago before I went on my journey around Nigeria, that I think that what the Glazers are looking for is somebody who will come buy the club, but also give them a little shares to benefit from, because they see Man United as a fat cat, as a money-making machine, and they're not just going to hand that over. Americans are business-minded. So why not just say, okay, come or buy it, give me shares, so that I'll just be making profit of whatever progress you're making, but then we will not be responsible for the day-to-day running of the club. And if I know British people very well, I'm thinking that Jim Ratcliffe agreed to that so that he can get a window into having a chance of buying it, knowing fully well that financially he might not be able to compete with the Arabians. But when he's done, settled in and all that, he would find a way to buy out the Glazers and kick them out. And then the English press will make him look like a messiah, a savior of football, a savior of humanity, blah, 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 blah. That's what I think anyway. I might be wrong, but that's what I think would happen. Lionel Messi's move to Saudi Arabia is still gaining traction, even though the father have come out to say some stuff. Well, Real Madrid pursue mega double deal. That's according to Kieran Lynch. It's the host commentator of the Transfer Live on the Daily Mail. Okay, and this is what they have to say. So we'll start off with some huge report from last night, that Real Madrid are pursuing move for Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe. Okay, it was already known that the Spanish Giants are in pole position to sign Bellingham, but it has been reported that they could jump back into the race to sign Kylian Mbappe. Like I said to you guys, that the form of Karim Benzema already tells me that they will need an Mbappe. The reason why they need an Mbappe, yes, he can play football, but they also need Mbappe because he is a brand. He's the poster boy of football right now. Haaland doesn't come close. Nobody comes close. If you look at the kind of players that Madrid are signing lately, Jude Bellingham is also a player that the English media would hype a lot. That would help his commercial value. Kylian Mbappe does not need any hype. It's just the Madrid machine, Marca, and the Spanish media, and the work of Florentino Perez is good enough to make him the most talked about football player of the new future of football. So I think that's a good one. Madrid made the interest in Mbappe clear in 2021 when they submitted the final bid of 154 million pounds for the League One star in an attempt to pry him away from the Paris club, but that didn't happen. But now they are ready. Though the Frenchman decided to stay in Paris, Madrid have reported not giving up on him. So that one is another good one. Let's look at some of the storyline. Messi's future is still under question with the World Cup winner expected to leave Paris Saint-Germain in the summer. Hotly pursued Hurricane is still with us, where Liverpool are keen to undergo a major reform in midfield. Okay, with the summer window just around the corner, we try to see what's going on here. Okay, there is the talk of Sergio Busquets as well. Where is he going next? Definitely the summer will be the last for him. 15 years of being at the club, at the new club. It's come to an end. It's announced officially that I've got to go. And in Lionel Messi's word, he says you are number 5 on the team, number 5 on the shirt, but you know that you are always going to be a perfect 10. I love that, girl, you always was a perfect 10. You remember that song by, what's it, Backstreet Boys or Westlife now? I'm checking. I can't play it. Yeah, YouTube will just take my channel down, but I would have loved to play it. But that's not gonna happen. Hey, my guy, this is for you're back again. Thank you for showing up. Okay, I don't even remember, like I said, looking like Inter are already in the final. AC Milan missing Leao so much, and then this is for one of our members. I said, I can't wait to see the final qualifiers of the Super Six. I can't wait myself. I really wish, I'm beginning to get greedy and selfish now, but I really wish we were producing this last game in Group B. Even 3SC, I wish we were doing it, because I already set up a template where, as we're doing the games, we would be popping up in different centers those things that are coming. That's what I plan to do, but sometimes it does not have everything going for you. Sometimes you just don't have everything going for you, and that's kind of like crazy. But hey, life is life. These things happen, and you just want to sit back, relax, and say to yourself, well, we can get better, right? And that's the way I always think. These days, when I sit down and I'm planning and plotting my production of league matches, I'm not competing with the Europeans. I mean, they've got sophisticated equipment, they've got, but I'm also not going to sit down in mediocrity and just say that, oh, we don't have this. No, I'm sitting where I am and I'm saying to myself, you know what? We are going to make the best of the little equipment and resources and personnel that we have. And the crew that I've been putting together for different games have really done incredibly marvelous job. Okay, from selling the cities and the stadium that we're going to, even though the stadiums are not perfect, but being able to put them in the colors that we're putting them, and then the crew that we put together has been very, very mad. And I also hope that we have done enough to convince the organizers of the league that we would play a part in the Super Six. If we don't, I'll sit here and I'll appreciate and I'll celebrate whoever does it. But I think it's Lagos. I would really love to come with the big guns and do some stuff, in the Super Six, for the number of days that it would go down. But hey, whatever happens, I will still be at the stadium to watch. Whether we're producing or we're not producing, I'll be at the stadium to watch. But I think that we would, even if we're not producing, we would do a whole lot of behind the scene as well, and leading up to next season and see how it goes. Yeah, Maiwa Michael says, good morning, my brother. Great show today. Thank you very much, boss. Thank you, Maiwa. Appreciate that. The fact that you enjoy what we're doing gives me joy as well. Okay, so I asked this question yesterday, but nobody responded. So I'm going to bring it back again today. Looking at your team right now, the squad that your team have, I don't think that there's any team in Europe right now that you can say, oh, they have a complete squad. Even Man City, they have a complete squad. They don't need anybody. Every team needs at least 2, 3, or 4, or 5 players for some. Well, not 22 like Nottingham Forest, but let's just say 4 or 5, right? If you are to pick your team and say, you have the chance, one phone call, and they will listen to you. Call the football director or the club president or the owner or the chairman, whoever he is, or the coach, and say, I have scouted these 5 players anywhere in the world. You have the luxury, and once you make that call, those players will be signed. Who are the players? So you're sending your message, you type in it, left the club you are supporting, and the players you are picking for them to sign in this summer window, because next season's Champions League is going to be brutal. The league title chase also is going to be brutal. And if your team qualifies for Champions League, you gotta be ready. If your team is in the title race, it's gotta be ready. Let me give you a good example. In Italy, I think Juventus will make up for lost grounds and try to recover themselves and then come back into competing. If Jose Mourinho does not go to Paris Saint-Germain and is available with AS Roma, I think he would want to try and push a bit harder. Inter Milan, if they go all the way to the finals of the Champions League, win it or lose it, they would also want to push harder and come back and try to win their title again. AC Milan, I don't know what they will do. They don't really have that much money, but getting to the semifinals of the Champions League also means that some more additional money will come into their coffers. They are not really heavy spenders in terms of paying salaries and the rest, so they might have money to also spend. Bayern have not had a great season this season. Even if they end up winning the title, it does look like they might lose it anyway. But if they do win it, they look like a team that would hurriedly want to reinforce their team. I don't know about Borussia Dortmund. We already know that Jude Bellingham is going already. So 1 minute is a Sancho that they lost. Next they lost, or let's stretch it back to Aubameyang, Lewandowski, Aubameyang, and then Mkhitaryan, and the rest of them. They keep losing this year. Great players. It's the model of the club anyway. Like I always say to people when we are having like behind private conversation about football, I would rather keep selling players and keep the club competing at the top level than try to win titles and then get relegated. Remember when Leeds United tried to overplay their hand in the Champions League and got all the way to the semi-finals, and the next season they got relegated? Because sometimes what you consider to be an opportunity to make it big might just be also a gamble too far that will just wreck your dream. And so I'm not against them, but I look at teams like Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, Porto, and I say to myself, a team like Borussia Dortmund should not even, okay, they should play in Champions League. I take that back. Should play in Champions League, but they should early enough fall to the Europa and go and win the Europa. You know what that does? It brings a winning spirit into the team. It brings trophy to the cabinet and makes the team see themselves, okay, yes, we're good enough to be this. But if they keep coming so close yet so far, it becomes a pattern that might just hurt the team eventually. Oduni Remeleko, aka the Emperor, he said, when we signed Ramsey, we them the renew in contract again. Well, the thing is, you gave him a 4 years contract, right? When you give a player a 4 years contract, you start negotiating for renewal in 2 years into the contract. Because if you don't, you allow the player to go to his final year before you start negotiation. What you do is you put yourself in dangerous position, especially in today's world where players and their agent can be tapped by anybody and there is no law against it anymore. So you don't want to put yourself in a place where the player, because your final, if let's say for instance, Arsenal didn't make the Champions League this season, player like Bukayo Saka will be gone. William Saliba will be gone. Almost all the players that their contract is running out next summer would say they don't want to sign because they don't want to play another season not knowing where they're going. So you want to quickly tie up those players and you think, okay, they belong to this team, they have something to do for you, and that's it. So look at Arsenal, for instance. Next season, Newcastle is going to be stronger. Man United definitely will be stronger. It doesn't mean they won the title. City will be stronger, will be better, they'll blend together more. Chelsea will come out fighting. I don't know if they'll be stronger. I know they are not going to win the league title. Liverpool will be stronger as well. Tottenham Hotspur might try, but even though they're a shitty team. And then a few other teams that will try to put surprises, like what Fulham and Brighton and the rest have done. So these are 6 teams fighting majorly for 4 spots. Of those 4 spots, 3 are guaranteed, and then 1 you have to play preliminary to qualify for the UEFA Champions League. What am I saying? As a club, you cannot take anything for granted anymore. And the same thing is happening in Italy. Before now, in Italy, it's just 4 teams, you just know their standard teams. But right now, there's good. You've got Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan. You now have Lazio, you now have Napoli, you now have Roma, all of this team. Not the toughest team, but they could lay claim now because of the fact that Napoli definitely will sell Osimhen for 100 million plus. I don't know what's going to be on top. I don't know if it's going to make that 160 million euros, but 100 million plus, and that money will be reinvested into the squad. Aurelio De Laurentiis know how to get money out of players and also know how to invest it properly. So they will be reinvested. It means that the team might be strong, but I am of the opinion that they will not be stronger than this season. My point being that I don't think Napoli will win the league title. I also don't think that they will get to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. So they will not be stronger, but they would just be spoilers for some people. They will be there, in the running, maybe come third or fourth or second, but they will definitely not win it. Okay. Like I say, Arsenal should go for Daniel Moore of Leipzig. Okay, yeah, that's a very good player. And then he said he can play in the Xhaka role and on the wing as well. Okay, creates chances a lot. Okay, I think I like him, but I don't know if he will be sold. Okay, probably every player have a price tag, so you never can tell. That's just the only off that I have. Eddie Jala Ufoma Ikbubu 4K. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very, very much for giving us 4,000 naira. Let me say the way my son, my 3-year-old son will say, 4,000. I have $4,000. Everything for my children have dollars. I have $4,000. I want to buy chips. Okay, Sammy Soul, he said, do you think the Glazer will sell Man U to Sir Jimmy Ratcliffe or the Sheikh Al Thani? Amazing work, Mr. Legote. I think that what Glazers would do, Glazers will sell to Ratcliffe because Ratcliffe is the only person of the people that are bidding. Thank you very much anyway for your beautiful comment. The only person of the bidders that have agreed to cut them some shares, okay, in the club and take over the overhead, like the majority, become the majority shareholder, like let's say 90% of the shares will be belong to him, but then they will give 10% to the Glazers. And Glazers like that because it just becomes, the purpose of buying Man United was Man United needed to be a money bag, or what we call it, a goose that lays the golden egg for them. And it's done that for a while. I know they're in debt to the tune of 1 billion and 986 million. That's about 1 billion pounds, and all of that is happening. So I think that somewhere along the line, the Glazers will sell to Ratcliffe because Sheikh Al Thani does not want a conversation around me and you owning it. It doesn't even want that conversation. He doesn't want to hear it. What he wants to hear. So I went. Let me give you a very good example. I went. It's a very popular person, so I'm not going to mention his name. I went to discuss a business proposal with someone some time ago. I have a right to something, and I wanted to do, and I wanted him to help me fund it. And when he puts his fund in, I would in turn pay him back in 1 year. With first off, I pay him 100%, and then put the 10% on top of it, and then for the next 10 years, I'll be giving him 5% of sales, right? I think I looked at me and said, okay, I'm going to give you $1 million, but I want the right. I'm buying the right completely from you. I'm going to call ESPN. I'm going to call some people from the Marvel universe and the rest of them, and start calling them like I don't share. I don't share. And I remember my friend also went to Coolidge and Ahmed to discuss a business proposal, and he said, I don't share. Okay, I don't share. And that's not a bad thing. It's what business people do. Real top class business people, especially the one who have their money, who can afford to go anywhere, who can afford to do anything with their money. You don't share. So Sheikh Al Thani might look at the Glazers and say, no, you've run the club for as many years as you want. We don't want you here. If we're buying it, it is shoo. Get out of this place. We are going to redesign the club and make it. We don't want a voice in the boardroom. We don't do business like that. We do business autocratically. We do business with control. We don't want somebody in the boardroom coming to tell us, no, you can't do that. I have a voice here. No, I'm the voice of the fans. No, we don't want that kind of guy. So I think that Jim Ratcliffe, because he desperately wants to be the owner, and I'm surprised anyway that that's going to happen, because I'm one of those who don't think he had that kind of money. But I mean, rich people are rich people. They will always find a way to come out with something. And if that happens, it means that somewhere in all of this conversation, he's going to agree, because I hear that the last conversation that they're having, he's going to agree that, okay, Glazer, if you sell to me for 5 billion, I would allow you own a part of the club. But it's my club, but how do I put it? I'll give you an attachment seat on the bus, right? You're not to be heard, you're not to be seen, just be there. If we buy food on the road in Ore, you will shop. If we buy banana, granite, suya, anything, you will shop. If we reach location, we buy anything, you will shop. But don't make noise in the bus. You know that kind of thing. Have you ever tried to travel and you go on the express road and you're hailing that vehicle and then they give you a lift, right? Okay, so you're not going to spend that much, but you will enjoy whatever comes on that journey. Okay, so that's it. Eze Patrick is for Liverpool and club, Mbappe, Bellingham, Pedri, Osimhen, Casado. No, I didn't say you should daydream. I didn't say you should wish for something that will not happen. I didn't say you should wish that God will turn the devil into an angel of light back. That's not what I said. I said pinpoint the players at your club that you think your club needs. Players that your club can pay for, that your club can buy. Don't like an Arsenal fan comes here and say, "Oh, as an Arsenal fan, I want Arsenal to buy Mbappe or bring Messi to Arsenal." What can be you the Chris? What did they do you? You understand? And that's not what I said, is it, Patrick? And I'm sure you know. So I want you people telling me what players that your club, based on your budget. I cannot say now and now promise I want to do giveaway. I'm going to dash somebody a Ferrari or a limousine or a those are even too expensive. So there's this shop that I went to the other day. You know, I'm a sucker for perfume. Perfume is my addiction. And some people are womanizers, some people like alcohol. My own is perfume. Perfume just make me become an idiot. Once there's perfume in the conversation, I'm start to be misbehaving. And there's sneakers. So I like sneakers. My wife always tell me, like, if we go to ShopRite, she'll say, no, I shouldn't pass that other door. I should follow this side. Because we just go now and say, babe, let me just see it. Before you know it, my ATM card is coming out. That's the way I behave. Like sneakers and perfume have my memo button. Like seriously have my memo button. You know, I have friends that they'll call me to say, I have these sneakers, so they just stand to pick up. Sometimes it's not even my size. Like I have one oversized sneaker in my house that I've grown old. I never wear it once. And the body can't repeat. I just like sneakers like that. Sometimes I like seeing sneakers. That's why I'm saying this wall, this back of this wall, this place I live like this. Now sneakers I will put. Old, dirty, raggedy sneakers, new ones, everything. I'll put sneakers here to remind me of my bad habits. I have this bad habit like that. So, Eze Patrick, please, what I want is the one that will work, not the one that will not work. Additional Alpha say Arsenal is always used to leaving contract of players to their final year. Chelsea, who were good at planning, suffered this last season when the club was unstable due to the British government stalling. Okay. Ola Matthew say, I'm happy to be back again as a Barca fan. If I have the liberty to call Laporta and would ask him to sign Mbappe. No, not get money now. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Matthias delete. That doesn't look possible, but with Real Madrid, with Bayern Munich selling. Come on, get out of this place. Kamavinga, Odegaard, Musiala of FC Bayern. These are young and good players. Okay, of all the players you mentioned, there's only one or two. Odegaard is possible because, I mean, you can still go and find the money. They can go and rob a bank. Money heist was done in Spain. Some of the money that the professor and his crew they stole, they are still there. The gold that they stole, they are still there. They can give it to Barcelona. Barcelona will use it to buy Odegaard, but definitely not Kamavinga. Barcelona, that's where, you know, in American movie, they tell you is above your pay grade. Kamavinga is above Barcelona pay grade right now. Musiala is, you know, every time people ask me about Musiala, I say the player is a key. He can unlock any defense, okay? But he needs to play with the right set of players. If they didn't introduce him in that game, that finals against Argentina, all this talk about Mbappe, this would not have happened. It was the key that unlocked the shackles that was shackling Mbappe. I think that it's a possibility, but they have to kick out players like one of the worst player that was overrated, Ansu Fati. They need to kick him out of the team. But I don't think that it is possible for you guys to sign Mbappe. That's not a dream. There's only two clubs in the world right now that can sign Mbappe: Man City and Real Madrid. Man City already have Haaland, so that's not going to happen. As a Patrick, you say, I have missed this show. Me too, I've missed it. Sammy so he say if Sir Jim buy Man U, then I think that's Glazers 2.2. We are finished. God, you never can tell. You never can tell. Yes, he will be stingy. He's a British man, so you don't get surprised if a British person is stingy. That's the way. British people are stingy people. Okay, he will be stingy. He might not buy outrageous fees, but there is a way out. He might just go to the academy, groom the academy. Put some stuff. Man, if I say this fuck away, it is allowed for my me. They swimming for body like. They do me work out for body. Thank you very much, bros. Like I could say thank you to the end of the show. Thank you very much. And that thing where they jump, they do victory. That's how did you get that? That thing I don't know. Some things in this YouTube that I don't know. Okay, no Alasha. Let's just leave it like that. There is a new this thing possibility with YouTube. The way you can go on Instagram Live, you cannot go on YouTube Live on your phone with other people. So I'm looking for somebody that I'll go live with on YouTube, probably during the day when I'm running around or when I'm resting at home, I'm watching TV or doing something. Because today I made up my mind. My children don't go to school. As soon as this thing finish, they're doing a whole lot of electrical work in the office. They're also doing a lot of plumbing work in my house. I'm just gonna sit down and watch Netflix. I've not watched Netflix in a while. Traveling around for MPFL content is hard. It's harder than it looks. The other day I was telling somebody that all my body's spinning. I need a massage, but not those kind of your people own. Those your massage where you call shit black shit. Sorry guys if it's offensive, but I don't want that one. All those men, women or men where they say if you touch your hand you go buy far. If you fall them you go buy good. I don't understand. I need massage that feels sensual and romantic and consciously. Okay, that kind of romance is what I want. Romance that look that's a romance. Massage that look like romance and cuddling, not the one that you want to press demon come on my body, say they massage me. So my stepdad is an Asian man and he used to massage a lot when we were growing up. He was using us to do experiment. You just come lie down. From when we were very small, I came back from the UK when I was 5, right? So we just put it on his lap, juggle your leg together like Jesus Christ. Maybe let me not say that. But people, if you know the kind of massage I'm talking about, and God is leading you to pay for me to go and do it for free. Because right now, when I say broke, I am super broke. Like broke, shattered. I'm not poor, but I'm just broke. And Jesus Christ, I need a sponsor. I need a sponsor to be paying for this whole traveling around Nigeria because I cannot do production of match, take my small profit and travel around Nigeria for free. Hotels, food, flights, vehicle. And I need to enter like public transport like that. I just shut out because I cannot fold my leg. I on my leg, my sidebone. I on if I fold that for long, it will swell up. And then I have to go to see the doctor and I have to pay extra money that I can't. So that, here to here, 80,000 here for man, it's crazy. But hey, we're getting going. We're getting going. Okay, let's come back to comment. There's a Patrick say Liverpool broke club. So someone they broke. Now they go call a whole Mbappe. Mbappe that requires like full league to sponsor a transfer. And Liverpool Mbappe they meet. Mbappe said we'll buy Liverpool right now. Mbappe should be putting a bid. So I'm going to tell you something about money. Just a minute. Let me read some of this comment first. Sammy Soul says Sajimi would be Glazer 2.0. And that will be the end of Man U. Okay. Taking a look at OGC Nice in France. Okay, he will not treat them like OGC Nice. Let's be very honest. He can't try that nonsense. No, he cannot try mine. The fans would riot. The fans would provoke. But I think that Man United, I would have preferred the Arabs to buy Man United. You know why? They will be able to build the stadium. If Jimmy spends $5 billion to buy Man United, how would he fund the rebuild apart from the squad, the playing squad? Now the stadium is not looking like National Stadium in Surulere. They are living a whole glory. It's now becoming rickety, dilapidated. It's so fun, especially when on Tuesday I saw the Real Madrid game and I was looking at now I'm a producer, right? there are things I look at from the stadium. I've seen the way the drone shot. I don't know if you guys watched that game or the drone shot of the stadium, the outside, the night sky, and then the some run lights outside the stadium, just flying like that. It was sexy, like picking with a bunny's ice cream machine, just fine, right? So I'm looking at Man United and I was like, anybody who buys Man United should have that kind of vision. This Old Trafford, it look like a relic now. It look like one Shankpa, one old shrine for Igbudu or Warida here. You know, so like it's a shrine. You know, when we're growing up, it was nice to see it, like you fear it. As you now grow older, you now realize that and some dirty, rotten dog and goat bone into that place. You don't look at it like, how primitive can this will be? You know, so that's how Man United look like right now. Old Trafford, theater of dreams, no dream anymore, useless place. So you need a person that can either break it all down or say, you know what, we'll break this wing down, we'll like reinvent the club, reinvent the stadium, and then give it a new face, moving into the dream future. If not, let me go another 30 years without winning title. Man United fans don't want to hear that, but it does look like that's the kind of thing that will happen with Man United going forward. But let's keep our fingers crossed. As Patrick say, for broke Liverpool and club update, McAllister, Casado, Oli Watkins, and Kubo. Now that's your level. That's your level. Even at that, you might not be able to buy McAllister because they will put he's a World Cup opponent. Brighton will say 120 million, and Liverpool cannot afford that. Matthias Abba Jacobs said, "Good morning. Just decided to switch from radio and see your face. Thank you very much. This oily face, Niger Delta face. My face is all oily, naturally oily. No matter the powder I use. Okay, Sir Jim buying Man United will not clear the debt in the club. Okay, so the debt goes in there, and I'm saying financial fair play goal. Diolara Waju, thank you for using our logo as your icon. I say laugh a lot. Now you be Brooklyn. I understand how it is. Man, I'm living in Brooklyn right now. I left Harlem to Brooklyn. Hell Hall in Brooklyn. That's where I'm staying right now. Hell Hall in Brooklyn. That's where I'm staying. And so somebody come and rescue me. Somebody, you know, back in the day, I used to hear people other than Foster, the leader Foster. I used to hey, this person, other than I mean, they lie. You see, hey, this person called me and sent me 2 million. This person called me and sent me a car. This person called me and sent me a phone. When they call me, I mean, all the friends I get, I pop people now I get. I beg, I want to change friends. I beg. I don't want to be with a friend again. I beg. See, person of just they broke, they just call it for a guy for God is speaking to an a year. When I come out continue for a year, all these headphone and people for a year, God is speaking to you people. Open your ear and hear from the Lord. Okay, as a Patrick say, the brokenness we go overcome soonest. Okay, the language say Inter Milan did a quick fire type on Milan yesterday. However, I still think it's a little bit yet open to both teams. Yes, I think so because Rafael will be available next week. And all it takes for that tie to change is one early goal in the first maybe 10 minutes, and it's 2-1, and then 2-2, and then, you know, Inter begins to panic. But I still think that Inter will score in the return leg. So Milan needs to score loads of goals to be able to, to be able to go through. I will give it to Inter, but I just think somewhere in this conversation, Milan would want to, drag the drama, stretch it a little bit, and keep people's heart pumping. That might just be what would happen. The Lord just say, good to have you back, bro. Thank you very much, Christopher Martin. Hey, how you doing? He said, as Barcelona fan, I would like them to sign Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, and Yuri Tillemans. You are very, very modest. I like you. I got respect for you. There's nothing to banter there. That's perfectly within the reach of FC Barcelona right now. Matthias, I must say, what I can say about Sajin is that he can't sustain the club in this current football economy. And Christopher Martin said Kimmich and Mitoma. Yeah, you made some wise choices there. So as a Patrick said, bros, any deal in the works for Imade, though no goal in 5 to 6 games, but do you see a European deal this summer? I'm not saying anything. I'm not talking. So I'm so involved in a transfer for him, so I can't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm so. Bulalba. Balabi. I can't say anything. There are deals. There are deals on the ground. So let me just perambulate around. There are deals on the ground that most likely would happen. Fingers crossed. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Nothing to say right now. Let's wait for the Super for some things are on the ground. But let's just keep waiting for the Super Six, and then after that we'll see what comes up at the end of the season. Having said that, I need you guys show up. If you're in Lagos, show up for the Super Season. I'll be there. Let's do some hanging out, and I might just give some people some job to do. If the things that I'm planning goes according to, I might just give you some of you might win money, $100, $50, 10,000 naira, 100,000 naira. If everything goes the way I'm expecting. So if you don't know, so let me give you guys a spot. There's a content that we're working on alongside, hoping that the sponsor will come for it. So we're hoping that we'll see you in the stadium. We just randomly come to you and ask you questions. Let's say, for instance, Eze Patrick. Let's say, Eze Patrick, name 5 players in Liverpool. You name 5. And then we'll say, okay, name 5 MPFA players. If you get it right, you get it. We'll put our hand in the bag, and anything that comes out, you get it could be $100, $50, 10,000 naira. Try again later. Try again next time, and so on and so on. It could also be $100,000, but definitely not 100,000 naira, but definitely not a million naira. We're not doing that one. I'm just telling you that's a possibility. That's a possibility that might happen with the Super Six. So if you're there, look out for myself. Look out for Emmanuel Sebastian. I think Emmanuel Sebastian is the guy that I want to use to do that goodie bag. Unless it's on commentary duties, unless they say, okay, that for you people we like what you've done, come and do production. If we're doing production, then Emmanuel will be on commentary duties. Then I'll now need to look for somebody else to do the goodie bag, because I'm not sure I want to be putting my faces out there. Apart from this live show that I'm doing, I want to reduce my face a little bit and put my team, the other guys, they let them be the stars of the production while I'm just behind the scene, reducing in face. Okay, doing these shows on the channel, but leaving those other guys to reign. That's the plan that is on ground. I just hope that we'll get it going. Okay, Eze Patrick say already making plans. Once Sunshine Stars make the Super Six. Which Sunshine Stars? Sunshine Stars of Alagbole or of Akure? What's that now? Please, because they went to, where did they go? So they went to Kaduna to go and beat Niger Tornadoes, Abi. Well, we've come to the end of the show. I've got some Netflixing to do. I've got some Amazon Prime to do, Showmaxing, and the rest to do. See you guys tomorrow. Let's have some fun again. I think I just glazed through the day today in slow motion. That's the way I feel like. I don't know about you guys, how you received it, but in my head, I feel like I've glazed through it, the show in slow motion. But I will not forget to say thank you to one of our member, DJ Lafoma. Thank you very much for gifting us 4,000. Jesus Christ. I wish that YouTube is not even taking percentage of this money. But anyhow, thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's saving up there in the bank. One day we'll take it. Even Bible says that cast your bread upon living water. And one day it will recompense. One day we'll draw the money and we'll see what we'll do with it. We'll still keeping it stuck, piling it there. But thank everybody. God bless you. My name is Idafi Matthew. So let's do this again tomorrow when the Europa games will have been played. Somebody says that West Ham, if they win the Europa and get the UEFA Conference League and get relegated, he's a fan of West Ham, that he would prefer it than them not doing anything and remaining in the Premier League. I don't know what kind of fan that is, but he's talking like a Wigan fan that said when they wanted to play in the finals against Man City that time, remember that he would rather they win the FA Cup and get relegated. Since they relegate, they never come back home. West Ham fan, be careful what you wish for. Well, thank you very much again. My name is Idafi Matthew. You love to come in and look at Wonder Sports. It's been a wonderful time, and I hope to be here tomorrow. I'll definitely be here by the grace of God, and I hope to see you in the Super 6. But until then, let's wait for the last number of games that we played in the league and have fun and be the very, very best version of who you're created to be. For fit purpose and destiny, don't be one of those people, okay? Don't be one of those people whose job is only to see negativity, to find fault, to complain, and you're not adding value, you're not creating solution, you're not providing services. Remember, money follows value, solution, and services. If you really want to grow in life, you need to be somebody who's providing all of these at one turn or the other in your life, in your life's marketplace, in your life business place, in your life's service place, or whatever it is you find your hand to do. Be a person of value, be a person of good service, and always be efficient, instead of being the guy whenever an idea is raised, you are always the guy who see, oh, why this will not work. Remember when I told people that I was going to do production of the league when I was still producing Lagos FA Cup, and they're like, you think, is this your small camera that you want to produce a league? Which league? Nigerian league. Even if Nigerian league is the worst league in the world, take it easy. You cannot be not be everything that you talk about, not be everything that you did arrogant and proud about. Well, look at me now. Starting from the bottom, now we're here. I like to show off sometimes. So, all right, Victoria. No, that's Victor Akmonenu. Good morning, but you came late and you're a late comer. So I gotta go. Bye bye.